Welcome to the 24 hours of the Nürburgring. For the 30th time, motorsports enthusiasts from around the world have come to challenge one of the toughest tracks in the world. It's called the Grüne Hölle. The celebration started, though, in the village of Adenau. The atmosphere was just as thick as race day on the Wednesday before the race weekend. They're celebrating the 75th anniversary of the track in the village of Adenau. For the first time in the 30-year history of this endurance classic, the ADAC North Rhine Automobile Club, along with the community, put together the Adenau Racing Day. It's meant, of course, for the family. Some 5,000 people showed up, more than expected. We hadn't planned on this huge rush. We figured on 1,500 to 2,000, but it's now at 5,000. We're very happy. And you know you've done something right when we can bring this many people to Adenau. And there were certainly things to say. Naturally, race cars doing their thing. Also on hand was guitarist Joey Kelly from the Kelly family. He's a triathlete, but he's also a lover of the 24 hours.
Nürburgring, for me, the Nordschleife is known as the hardest racing track probably in the world and the longest one. It's very difficult, but it's very beautiful, and the 24 hours Nürburgring race is, I don't know, it's just the atmosphere and the weather is perfect this time. It's my first time doing the 24 hours race. I just hope we get through and the car holds and I'm at the one who maybe breaks the car.
The Adenau Racing Day was a great way to start a great weekend.
Hej allihopa I Sverige och välkomna till Nürburgrings 24 timmars tävling.
Konnichiwa, Falken Motorsports です。今年も頑張ります。
Per il settimo anno siamo al Nürburgring a difendere il titolo e I colori del team Alfa Romeo, scuderia del Portello.
Hello, welcome to the Nürburgring 24-hour race.
And that about just sums it up. No other sports event brings these many people from these many nations all together for a racing weekend. More than 20 nations are at this year's event. From Australia, New Zealand, Russia, and Japan to Portugal and England.
We're from the middle of England called Birmingham. We've been coming here for the last 5 years, 6 years now. It's a race everyone in England loves to come and do. There are no more 24-hour races in England, and this happens to be the best bit of tarmac in the world, so everybody wants to come and do it.
Well, it's the most fantastic race, I think, in the world. The circuit is certainly the finest, and the atmosphere is awesome, and we have sunshine, so it's fantastic.
And for these people, well, they come from way up north to be at all the racing action. It's not hard to guess where they're from. You see, they do eat knäckebrot and come from Sweden. So naturally, what would they drive? A Saab. In fact, it's the only Saab in the race. And what about a small man, dark hair, and the telephone in the ear as he works? Has to be from Italy. The 24-hour race. Each year, a meeting of the nations. It's Saturday afternoon, just before 2 o'clock. Over 151,000 fans are here at the Nürburgring around the track for all the racing. The fastest in the time trials and the clear favorite, the Zakspeed Racing yellow CHRYSLER Viper GTS-R. There is competition. One of the main challengers to the Viper, Jürgen Alzen, the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. He built it himself. The rear wing is about 15 millimeters outside the car. The chassis is made with aerospace parts. He's worked hard to get this car ready. 460 horsepower, enough to challenge the Viper. I'd say that we're on the limit in all areas. Actually, this is not a true endurance car. I do hope it works, and I hope we haven't bitten off more than we can handle. This man is speculating on the weaknesses of the Viper and the Porsches. Hans-Joachim Stuck has one great advantage: experience. If there's anyone who knows this track, it's Hans-Joachim Stuck. I don't necessarily think we're the favorite. We certainly have a car that can win it all. But the Viper, well, if it doesn't have a problem, then we don't have a chance. Those who know the Nürburgring, the weather, the difficulty of the track, anything is possible. Roland Asch will have a marathon of his own. Not only will he be driving the 24 hours of Nürburgring, but he'll also be flying to another racetrack in Germany to run in a Porsche Carrera Cup. That at the Sachsenring. I believe it's a matter of adapting, but I know I can do it. I'm an all-around driver, and I really don't want to have to worry about it. So this double performance by Asch is certainly going to cost him some strength, but he still has to face the Viper, the Porsche, and the BMW. He has to also hope for some help from the weather gods. It's important for the Nissan that it's a little wet, but it would also be nice if it stayed dry. We would then have our best chance. It's a four-wheel drive, and we would have an advantage. So who can stop the Viper? Jürgen Alzen and his Porsche GT3? Or what about the experience of Hans-Joachim Stuck in the BMW? And Roland Asch with his double show this weekend and the Nissan. Or is the weather going to play a part? Actually, anything can happen.
The 24 hours is everything dangerous. The technique, the driver can make mistakes, a lot of traffic outside. You have to do a good job, the whole team.
Right now, it's up to the starter. The cars, over 200 of them on the track, will start in 3-minute intervals in 3 groups. This is the lead group. You get to see how the top qualifiers will start the race today. This track is 16.12 miles per lap, and getting the jump at the start is the Viper. Peter CHRYSLER takes the lead as we're underway in the 24 hours of the Nürburgring. Heading into the new course. This is a brand new section of the Nürburgring, and right there, Jürgen Alzen, number 2, in that black Porsche, gets inside of Lucas Lohr in number 12 and moves into second place. Roland Asch, number 44 in that mint blue Skyline, is running right behind them in 4th, and then comes the Porsche, number 17, and Hans-Joachim Stuck in number 10, as the field sorts itself out here at what now is actually the new part of the Nürburgring. Again, 16 miles per lap. It's an amazing distance. Totals of about 39 left-handers, 44 right-handers turns. They're going to go up by some 17% climb. They're going to drop by some 11%. It's an amazing course. But right now, they're out on the Grand Prix section. This is the part that everyone is used to now. They only get to race the long course so many times a year. And the Viper has already separated itself from the rest of the field. Jürgen Alzen sitting there in second place in that black Porsche. And he's being challenged here. Look at the Nissan coming up behind. That green Nissan of Roland Asch pressuring here for 4th position. And as his first group gets ready to go out onto the long course, the second group gets ready to go underway, led by a Ford Focus, a VW Golf, and the second row is a Honda and an Opel Astra. These cars are more near the type of cars you're going to see on the highway. They don't have quite as much playing room as the first group that went out, that are far quicker. In this 30th edition, with over 200 cars here, it's truly amazing. The first group out on the course now. You get a good look at how this wonderful course is looking. We've just come out of the foxhole as the third group now starts underway. And these nice-looking cars up front are called Caterhams. They come from England. Last year, they had a miserable race. It rained, and they're in convertibles. This year, well, they're way out in front. They got a competition of their own, and look at that. They're leading this third group headed out on the course here at the Nürburgring. And look at the lead that the Viper has with Peter CHRYSLER as he heads out among the thousands of fans here at the Nürburgring. And look at this action back in the pack. And we're only up in the first couple of laps here. This is Hans-Joachim Stuck going by Jürgen Alzen Actually, that's for 4th position. And then comes the battle as Roland comes up over the hill, and look at right behind him. Once again, it's Hans-Joachim Stuck, but the door on the Stuck's car, look at that, it's loose of the window. Back in the pack, Peter Obendorfer in car number 8 has problems with the Weissman and spins. The Roadster, one of the popular car with the fans here, mainly because it makes a lot of noise. So Roland has gotten by Hans-Joachim Stuck and left him behind just a little bit, and now goes on against Lucas Lohr in the Montai Porsche. If they go through the corner, Asch goes wide, but is able to get the right line and is by him, and is taken over 2nd place. So the Nissan 4-wheel drive, some 500 horsepower, trying to push its way through. After 6 laps, the Viper comes in. A change of drivers. Pedro Lamy takes over for Peter ZAKOWSKI. Also coming in are the 2 second and 3rd place cars. Roland comes in. Lucas Lohr in the Porsche comes in. That means that the BMW with Hans-Joachim Stuck is still out on the course and has taken the lead. And you're riding with him right now. You get a good look at the course with all the difficulty in the world. And Porsche number 2 has problems in the pits. Jürgen Alzen has brought the car in, and they're going to have to start working on it. It was running so well, but now they have a problem with the steering.
The problem is that our power steering is out, and so we have to see that we can handle that without, and we hope that we can repair it very quickly, and then we have to go out and hope we can go faster. That's the problem in the moment, but we have 23 hours, and I hope that we can go faster and improve a little bit. And for sure we are frustrated, but it's the beginning of a long, long race, and so we have to see.
But the Viper's not having any problems. Pedro Lamy out on the course here at the Nürburgring. They lost the lead in the pit stops. Hans Stuck in the BMW is out in front right now. But the Viper is running at its pace, a very quick pace. Then, of course, the car from Sweden. They're here, but they're not running up front. Arno Clausen has brought the number 2 Porsche back out on the course. They fixed the problem at least a little bit with the power steering, but it's still going to be a little bit of a problem for the entire race for them. The question now is, when will Hans Stuck come into the pits? Stuck has come in now and has given up the lead. Pedro Lamy now has a chance to make up ground, and that's exactly what he's doing. The Viper on the new course segment here at the Grand Prix course segment of the Nürburgring. BMW number 10 is back out on the course.
We are leading due to the pit stops. I mean, we are full in our target, and we'll see. Talk to you after 24 hours.
This is the Weissman GT number 8, back out on the course. It's been having some problems. Looks like they still have some problems. Franz Engsler is driving right now. Apparently something wrong with the brakes. Getting back out on the course, leaving a lot of stones everywhere for everybody to worry about. Be a little squirrely going through that corner. But he's back out and going. And again, this is the new course. You get a good look at it here. It winds around so that the fans up at the big grandstand area can get more look at the cars. It'll be really tested with the Formula One race coming up a little later this year. good look at the long straightaway here, coming out of the Grüne Hölle, as the cars work their way through. And look at the Viper come sailing through the slower traffic. When you consider how many cars are out there, and the Viper is so fast and the others are so slow, it can be a bit dangerous. But when the Viper's alone, it runs down this long straightaway up to 172 miles an hour. And now it's into the chicane. It's what's called the Tiergarten, heading back to the Grand Prix course and the completion of another lap. There it joins the regular Grand Prix course coming off the long so-called Nordschleife. And they have a driver's change for car number 16. This is the Team Bonk Motorsports car, which is running currently in 8th position. But now there's serious problems for car number 10, the BMW. Now we have a clutch problem. Everything is new since yesterday. It shows that you really can't control everything. We're just going to have to see what the damage is and then go from there. The team's working very hard, but at this moment I can't say what's going to happen. But the Viper continues to roll. Absolutely no problems whatsoever here in the 24 hours of the Nürburgring. There are your standings after 4 hours of racing on the challenging Nürburgring. And for this BMW M3, I'm sure they'd rather be on the track than on the guardrail. The driver is okay. And the competition throughout the race, it can get a little tight. Watch this. 3 of them coming together. Hello, let's touch a little bit. This is going on throughout the entire 16-lap course. Tight racing everywhere. And now you're riding in the Mitsubishi. This is actually a rally car that was put together for this particular event, and you get a chance to ride with them here on the Nürburgring. And it looks like the number 10 BMW is back out. They've been working on that car now for over 2 hours. It's a long time to go yet. They still have a chance to place well if they can get the car back out there and have it running well. Johannes Scheid is the man that put this car together. Normally we can change it quicker, but because the brakes are so badly damaged, we have to work carefully to get everything out first. We have to take out the clutch and the transmission. Normally the transmission is out first and then the clutch, but we have to reverse that because there's so much damage to the car. Meanwhile, the Porsche number 17 coming right here into the picture now is moved up into 3rd place. It's one of the Manthey Porsches. At one time Porsche was a dominant car here. Over the years, it's changed. BMW has dominated, Porsche's dominated. The Vipers right now are the ones that dominated. Ford had a long time where they dominated this race. Right now, this Porsche's not doing too badly. Of course, it's still a long way to go. And this is one of the Caterhams. This one is driven by a French team. Certainly happy that the sun is shining at the Nürburgring. They're going to have a dry race so far this year. Everybody watches the race in their own way. As far as the BMW is concerned, well, they've lost the chance at the overall victory, but they want to certainly please the fans and also see how far they really can come up through the field. They're currently on the Grand Prix segment of the course, way down at the hairpin, coming back around up the hill, and then they'll hit the straightaway and head back out onto the old course here at the Nürburgring. Meanwhile, back out on the course, the competition continues. You're getting a look at number 44. That is the Nissan. Watching the left of your screen here as the Viper comes up, there's going to be one lucky bird right there.
It's my first 24-hour race, and it's my first race here at the Nordschleife, Nürburgring, so it's a very special moment in my career, so it's very exciting still, lap by lap. I'm learning a lot and still improving, and of course we're in a quick car as well, so makes things not that easy. Eh?
Take a look at some more of the competition on the course. There's an Opel Manta having its share of problems, hoping not to hit the wall too hard. Came out of it okay. And tire problems for the Manthey Porsche. Gotta hope that they can get back in time to change the tire. Here's a bad situation. There's the Nissan over on the right of your screen. The tow truck has got a car in the back. There's another car waiting to be picked up again. And here you are riding in the Nissan. You got to wait until you can get by. Slowly but surely you work your way around. That's not the normal kind of traffic you have to face at the Nürburgring, but it sure can cost you a lot of time. More pit stops going on. This is the Morgan +8 in the pits. Back on the track, a battle between Porsches. Number 2 with the Team HR Porsche going up against the Destry Team Porsche. The Destry Team is the yellow and blue one. This is type battling in a 24-hour race. Everybody's pushing it when they really want to keep the car together for the entire distance. But these two are going at it. We might mention here that each car is allowed to have 4 drivers. Some have only 2, some have 3. One driver actually can race in 2 different cars if they want to have it that way. But each driver can only drive 2 hours and 30 minutes at one time. That's the max they're allowed to be in the car. Then they have to get out and make the driver change. There are what they call double shifts. If they have 3 drivers, 2 drivers will split the time between them because the other driver might be a little inexperienced. That can happen. But normally they try to rotate their drivers. Once again, you get another look at the Viper coming out of the carousel. And after the carousel, they'll be going up to what's called the Hohe, the highest point on the course. The course offers all kinds of challenges for the drivers. And one of them is the fact that on some of these, they get a little bit airborne, particularly here. Watch carefully for the 3rd car coming over that jump. It gets airborne. If you don't take that hill right, then you've got some problems. The fans don't seem to have any problems, but the Nissan seems to have a problem. Roland Ash is the driver. Everyone is checking it. There's been some damage to the front of the car. And Roland Ash is trying to explain that the car isn't handling right. Something isn't right. And they're trying to figure out what it is. Obviously, something's wrong in the setup, but right now, nobody knows for sure. Meanwhile, other cars come into the pits to get their work done. That includes the Viper. They're not having any problems whatsoever. They're way out in front. They can pretty much take their time for a normal pit stop and hold on to the lead. And it's starting to get just a little bit dark here at the Nürburgring. The campers are getting ready to have supper, and this is what was evidently wrong with the Ash car. A piece of concrete broke out of the carousel portion, and evidently he ran over it. And that's what evidently messed up his car. But now, as it gets dark at the Nürburgring, the visibility is changing. It's going to start getting a little bit tougher for the drivers. Those with the experience are ones that will be driving in the overnight section. And the Viper continues to roll. And on the course, you could get the impression that you're all alone. You're not. There's still 100 cars out there. It just seems that way. And some fireworks from the Viper. This is the Jürgen Alzen team once again, continue to work on that car. They're out from the pits, the Viper's out in front. They just want to see if they can hold on.
For us, I would say we can improve a little bit. I hope that we are a little bit faster as the rest. But the gap between us and the Viper is around about 7 minutes, and I find that's too much to catch him off or in a normal way. But we found the problem with our car, and I hope that we have a really able car for the rest of the hours, and that's it.
This Porsche is not having anywhere near the problems that the Alzen car is having. This is the Destry team. They're running third. They've got to stay awake.
You have a lot of coffee in there, and your heart goes like that, and you try to be to make the same rounds in the same times, and it's getting harder and harder and harder after hours and hours.
And there's your standing after 8 hours. The Viper, way out in front, a lap lead over the Porsche 996. You can see from there on, they take a huge lead over the rest of the field. They can take their time when they go in the pits to make sure everything is working right. This is the worst time for the drivers, night at the Nürburgring. But for the fans, it's party time. So while the fans celebrate, the drivers and crews have the long night of the Nürburgring ahead of them. The sun has come up. Some people haven't noticed it yet, but the work continues in various forms, both on the track and in the pits. This is the Porsche of Stefan Beil. They're going to have to get that off the course. And the Viper, well, it just continues to run. It has now covered some 96 laps here on the Nürburgring. We're at 16 miles per lap. They are the dominator of the 24 hours of the Nürburgring's 30th edition. There you have it. After 16 hours of racing, the Viper out in front. The Porsche is still in there, but dropping back fast. Only one Porsche within a lap. Everybody else much further back. Concentration becomes the key as the race wears on. This is Dirk Soisman with the Nissan running in 5th position. However, he had to take a 30-second penalty because he didn't obey a yellow flag on the course. That hurts. Second place, this Porsche right here, number 2 of Jürgen Alzen, along with Arno Clausen, Timo Bernhard, and Markus Österreich. They're one lap back behind the Viper. Meanwhile, back in the pack, this is BMW number 10 with Johannes Schei's car, along with Hans-Joachim Stuck, Mario Merten, and Oliver Kahns. They continue to battle, even though they've had their share of problems. They're running back in 24th position. In third place right now, the Porsche GT3, number 11, Georg Silbermeyer, the man that leads this particular team. They have a one-lap lead over the car behind them. And the Viper, it continues to roll. Pedro Lamy talking to Robert Leshner, the young driver making his first appearance in the 24 hours of the Nürburgring and his first big race on the long course, and he does it in a car that's supposed to win. That is pressure. This is the Despre Porsche that has done very, very well, a 996 GT3. It's running right now in fourth position. They're down one lap. One lap separates them from a chance to be up on the podium in the first three positions that finish in the overall race here at the 24 hours of Nürburgring. Australian Ross Palmer in the BMW off the course. They're going to have to pull him out of the gravel. The Australians come back to race every year. It's kind of a shame they have to have that kind of a finish, although they get out and can keep going if they want to. Meanwhile, Johannes Schei continues to try to improve positions, not giving up whatsoever, even though they certainly have had more than their share of problems. The Porsche 996 GT3 number 5, this is of Dr. Alfred Derlam. He is driving here, and he's also about to lose a motor. With the Englishman driving a Caterham Super Sports, this is number 125. They have other problems. Problem is, they're not quite as fast as some of the other cars, and they have to spend as much time looking in the rearview mirror as they do watching what's ahead on the highway. That can be a long race. This is Japan's Kamenatsu in the Porsche 911. Not the way he wanted to go off the course, I'm sure. And the Viper, well, it just continues to roll no matter what the condition. Here it has to go very, very slowly as the helpers are on the course, clearing up another problem that's occurred during the 24 hours of the Nürburgring. And these two lines, well, that's the area of Hermann Schmitz. He takes care of the pits. Boy, you better pay attention to what he says. Yeah, well, what I try to do is help them, but if they can't do it, I say, hey, I got to get somebody else here to help. The 55-year-old is one of 1,500 volunteers. Without them, the race never would get off the ground. Our volunteers are the basis. They make it possible for us to race. 1,500 of them. You couldn't pay them. If you had to, we couldn't have the event. The helpers are everywhere. They're in the pits. They're in the garage area. And they're around taking tickets. And along the course, these are the folks that make sure that the drivers are as secure as possible, as well as the fans. And there are the doctors and the people who are out there in case of an accident to help everybody have a safe day. An awful lot of work, and these are volunteers, and they do it year after year. And this group of marshals, they come from England, all the way from Brands Hatch. They come here to wave the flags, to watch the racing, and take care of the racers.
I think I'm quite silly, really. They can think of better ways to enjoy their weekends and certainly their holidays, but to us, it's just fantastic. and to help with the cars is just that much better.
And once again, you're riding with Johannes Scheid here on the Nürburgring, and you get a very good look at the course and the fans. You're going by the Viper-Sieg right now, headed down toward the Adenau Bridge, which is called Breitscheid, but you get a great look at the fans who get a great view of the racing off to the right of the screen. Heading down the hill here. Now you're going across the bridge, which would be the left side of Adenau. You're going to make a hard right turn and head uphill. Meanwhile, flying through the air, the Viper. Whoa, got off just a little bit there. That can be a little dangerous. If you don't hit that jump right, that can be a lot of problems for later. Right now, the Viper doesn't seem to mind. 117 laps, way out in front. 2 in front of the Porsche. 4 in front of the next one. And look down there, 6th place, 7 laps back. Wow, the Viper, the dominator at the Nürburgring. And the car has gone off. This is the BMW number 10. It went off at the Hatzenbach curve, went right into the tires. After all the work, the day is over. The day still continues to roll for the Viper. Another planned pit stop. Robert Lechner will be getting out. Peter ZAKOWSKI, the boss, will be getting in.
Still 4 hours. So it's a long time and a lot of things can happen in motor racing, as we all know. But I keep my fingers crossed.
And the Viper continues to roll. A 2-lap lead as it heads back out on the course. And for Jürgen Alzen and his team, well, they're not able to catch up much, but they are going to say they're here. They continue to roll well here at the Nürburgring. You get a great view of the track. There are fewer and fewer cars on the track than when we started so long ago. And that's the end for number 10. On the truck, bring it in. Jürgen Alzen here, starting to pass and lap some of another Porsche. This is of Georg Silbermeyer, number 11. He gets by him. And Ulfried Baumert, in 165, you can see what's wrong there. He's got a long ride back to the pits to hope he can change that tire. Once again, you're back in the Nissan with Kinoshita driving. Continues to be underway, even though they too have had their share of problems. But they continue to roll, particularly for the fans. Of course, the drivers don't mind it either. They like this time on the track. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. A lot going on in the course. Not too much out in the fans. Time to relax and get ready for the final part of the day. And here at the Nürburgring, the suntan oil is necessary today. Ian Mitchell, car number 46. He's taking the course a little bit differently, got some serious problems, but still would like to try to get back into the pits. Once again, you're riding in the Nissan with Kinoshita driving. You're up into the Dottingen-Höhe. Now, this is the highest part of the course. From here, it's all downhill, and when you head downhill, you pass by all the fans. In fact, when you head down this hill, you're going to see most of the fans of the Nürburgring are here, more than anywhere else around the entire course. But first, you have to get down to them. Coming up through the Tiergarten and coming into the pits. More time for the Porsche number 11. Dieter Schornstein is getting out. Georg Silbermeyer is getting in. This is the battle for third, but it is tightening up. On the left, the BMW of the Reimer team, and on its roof is the BMW from Norring, number 59. This will be a local safety car phase. They wouldn't bring out the pace car for the entire course, but they do put it in here, so the cars have to slow down They come through very, very slowly. The Alzen number 2 Porsche has just gotten by the Destry number 17 Porsche. But the Destry can kind of hold along with them pretty good, even though they are a lap down. Now we're heading into the phase where I want to finish, and that's what's on everybody's mind. In 10th place is BMW M3 of Michel Bader, number 32. 2 hours to go. This is the Opel Manta. Rainer Zimmermann is able to keep control, hold the concentration. He wants that 2 hours to go by as quickly as possible. The Viper is just counting down the laps. It's unbelievable how perfectly this car has run. Everyone had hoped that something would go wrong, but the ZAKOWSKI team has prepared the car perfectly. It is running like a dream. Georg Silbermeyer, number 11, continue to try to close up and make it a tight race at the end. But the distance between second and third has now grown to 2 minutes. The final pit stops are about to take place. This is the third place car, number 17. It'll be the last driver's change. Dr. Edgar Althoff will get in for Wolfgang Destry. The team works hard and fast. They will still have a chance to improve a little bit. They had to recover from a cooling problem overnight. But now they're ready to roll again.
Well, we had some problems at night and we need more than 10 minutes to repair the water-cooled systems, and now we have more than 2 minutes in front of the fourth place, and we drive the sex bump at home.
And this is Porsche number 17 with Dr. Althoff in there driving. He's right behind the Alzen-Porsche number 2. But the Alzen-Porsche has a 2-lap lead. And now everybody has to get their concentration down, muster their last bit of strength, and hope that they can bring the car home. The cars in the back of the field continue to work, as does the Viper right here. Heading by the Nissan. The car simply continues to roll. There's an interesting tradition here. The cars that are out of the race with the last lap to go will come back out if they can to have a lap of honor. And the Japanese tire company Falcon is also looking for some honors in the 24 hours. Their goal is to finish up as far front as they possibly can. It's a tough job. We certainly want to win the race if we possibly can to show how good the Falcon tires are and to get more recognition for our company. There's a lot of work that goes in preparing a tire company for 24 hours. Again, it's people that make it work. Tons of people. But not only the people, modern technology. This is what helps success. And it seems to be working for Falcon.
From last year and this year, our especially high performance tires was expand our sales. So and we believe this motorsports activity should be a good success for the future.
In last year's 24 hours race, the Falcon team certainly had some problems. There were motor problems, which they couldn't control, of course, for the Nissan Skyline and spend a lot of time in the pits. That's all part of what it takes to be racing at the Nürburgring. Last year at the Nürburgring, we lost 4 hours. We had to put a brand new motor in, but then we put on a good show on Sunday afternoon. We're certainly hoping that we can complete the 24 hours this time. Well, I'm sure we will. The car is in. They're going to have it ready. They really do want to finish, at least be out there at the end. And as far as the view of the jump, you can't see it any better than that. One of the spectacular points on the Nürburgring. This is car number 62, another of the Japanese teams. This is the Masami Mazda RX-7, doing very well for itself. It continues to hold on, as do the rest of the cars here. It's interesting that the grandstand is empty there, but that's the way it is. Everybody's outside. And this is the Wagenstetter brothers' car. Their Honda Civic is out for the day. They won't be able to go out for the final lap. But the battle continues here for second and third place. Jürgen Alzen, number 2, and Dr. Edgar Althoff in number 17. Now, Alzen does have a 2-lap lead. But Althoff is right now driving some of the fastest laps. And of course, the young amateur filmmakers are all following the action. And in the pits, everybody's getting ready for the final lap to celebrate the end of the 24 hours. If you like blue, you're in great shape. Once again, riding in the car. Whoa, a bump. This is the Nissan. It got bumped, spun around, and goes off. And you're with them as they're doing it. The car had bumped into a BMW. And now it's got to try to get back to the pits after running so well. Look at that back tire. He's running on the rims. There is no tire. So now he's heading into the pit area and hopes to get the car ready so they can come back out. They're running very well considering the fact that they've had such a difficult time. More problems out on the course. More drivers unhappy that they're not going to be able to finish. That's the Porsche of Edgar Doran. He had a collision with the BMW you see there. And the leader is in the pits. The Viper is in, as is the second place Alzen-Porsche. This will be their last stops as they get ready for the final moments here at the Nürburgring. And once again, you get a look at the crowd on the left-hand side of the track here. This is on the way down from the Hohe Acht. It's unbelievable how the crowd is jammed in here. And a great view here, once again, in the Viper. Now it's a matter of getting by, taking your time, making sure there's no mistakes. The drivers are tired. You can't afford any mistake at this point of the race. Everything has gone so well, you just now got to bring it home. This is the third place Porsche, the Despri Porsche. It has done very well and continues to run well as he's on the in section of the course, time running down. He has a very good lead. And the Weissman GT8 with Jorgman Ullmann is out there. They've had all kinds of problems, but they stay out. And you can hear the noise and rumble that the fans like so much from this particular car. Now, every car is trying anything to get in. This car has been beaten from just about every side you can imagine. But they're still trying to bring it in to finish the 24 hours. The rest of the cars taking their time, hoping that they're going to be able to finish the race. The Viper, with Peter Zakowski driving, waving to the fans in the final lap. They'll time this now so that they come across and don't have to take another lap around the course. The Zakspeed team certainly now just waiting for the boss to come in, and they're lining up. How about that? The first three cars are lined up in position. The Viper on the right, the Porsche running in second is right next to him, but now he breaks away as they come up toward the Tiergarten and the last chicane before the finish line. Here they come. This will finish the 24 hours, the 30th edition of the 24 hours of the Nürburgring. And once again, the Viper is victorious, and for the fourth time in his career, Peter ZAKOWSKI has won the 24 hours here at the Nürburgring. That is a record, and the fans greet them. The teams are out, the fans are out, and of course the winners are very happy. And there they are, your finishers of the 24 hours. Look at that, 5th place, the Nissan. They struggled, but they brought it home. But the Chrysler, 141 laps, 2-lap margin for victory. And the Caterham, one of those specialty cars, in 11th place, 11 laps back, but they finished. And Peter ZAKOWSKI doing donut holes. One more trip for the fans. What a great day for his racing team. More success in the green hell.
The Viper is the first manufacturer, what is not from the German manufacturer, to win this race. And I think Zakspeed and Nürburgring and the Viper, that it's a love story.
And the champagne celebration ends the 30th edition of the 24 Hours of Nürburgring.